Hi, and welcome to my new video. It's been a while since I've made a video, and I've been kind of busy with school, but today I'm going to show off my RAM Multicart, which I finally got to work. Originally it had some character RAM here, which ended up being bad, and they were 64K chips, and so I had to use some replacement RAM, which, well, I got a 128K chip here, but the ones underneath are 32K, so I had to rewire some of the decoding circuitry, and there were also 7 RAM chips in the program memory here, which, well, I tested them and they worked, but apparently when you load a game into that RAM, try to execute it in the machine, yeah, it doesn't seem to work. So, and another problem was, well, I need to add a pull up to the read-write line. For some reason, because of all the loading, the read-write line goes to quite a bit of logic here. So I guess because because this 6502 is an NMOS chip, I guess that the pull-up current is pretty fucking limited. So yeah, it took me a while to figure out that, but hey, got it to work now. So basically, this thing supports MMC1, MMC3, and a whole bunch of HC161 variants. So I'll just show you what it can do. I got anticipation here, Arkanoid, Base Wars, and there's no GUI for this thing. I mean, it's not an operating system yet. It just basically loads the game. There's no save or load stating, and but the idea is basically, test a lot of games and confirm that the thing actually works. We've got, of course, we got Contra up here, and Double Dragon 2, and this is cool because, like, we can seamlessly change the games. Double Dragon 1 was a MMC1 game, Double Dragon 2 and 3 are MMC3 games. Even Dr. Mario seems to work. Nah, that's a joke because it's one of the easiest games to get to work. Got some DuckTales going on, some DuckTales 2 going on. And yeah, it's kind of nice to be able to play these games on the real hardware without having to keep a huge library of physical NES games. Yeah, I mean, these ones aren't that challenging to get to work. But then if we look at stuff like, here's Metroid. Mega Man 2 uses the MMC1. Yeah, we don't play normal. We might as well just go right to Mega Man 5 here, just so I can show you. Mega Man 5 is one of the larger games. It uses all the RAM here, actually, all 256 kilobytes. And you know what? Mega Man 5 is an underrated game, I think. But whatever. In my opinion, doesn't matter. Let's check out Stone Man here, just to see if the graphics are okay, because, like, really, I don't have a lot of time to play these games, even though I wish I did. I'd love to test them, but so the stupid thing about the Mega Man games after Mega Man 4 was that, yeah, they made the Mega Buster a little bit more powerful, but then they made it so that you would lose the charge if you get hit. So it's kind of like, yeah, that was something they didn't need to do. They could have kept it the same as Mega Man 4, but whatever, right? And in a few minutes I'll show you some of the source code to how this works, and yeah, I'm not too worried about people ripping off the source code, because actually it's just the interface, but or I mean, it's basically well, whatever. I mean, if you can understand the code. RC Pro is you know, easily one of my favorite games. It's so primitive, but it's so much fun. I mean, and yeah, I mean, it's, you know, whatever, right? So that one doesn't work for some reason. Yeah, basically the source code will, well, that one doesn't seem to work, but some of the games don't work, and that's to be expected because some of these, you can see these are actually NES images, so they use the INES header, but these ROMs were downloaded back in the 90s, so for sure that some of these images are probably got bad headers. Lately I've been using the NES Cart database to actually figure out how big these games are supposed to be, and you know, in the late 90s there was no such thing as an NES Cart database, so that kind of stuff helps tremendously nowadays. Got some Super Mario Brothers 3 action going, and hey, what NES collection isn't complete without Super Mario 3, right? It's, you know, people argue this is the best game for the system. I would say, you know, maybe Balto's Double Dragon is probably the most impressive looking, but either way though, this is some extremely sophisticated software for such a primitive processor like the 6502. It's amazing that they were able to do all this kind of stuff. Oh yeah, well, yeah, Super Pitfall's not that impressive of a game. There's no bosses or nothing, but it has potential. Like, let's oh, Death Insurance, Super P. Oh, that's oh, that one does seem to work. So, you know, there's some troubleshooting I gotta go through. I mean, it's kind of amazing that this thing works at all, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna have a lot of time to do the troubleshooting to get some of these ROMs to work, but and you know, like to actually develop the software to the point that the MMC5 RAM card worked at. Well, I wish I developed it for this thing, but didn't work that way. Didn't work out. Of course, we got, you know, the Turtles games. Awesome. Just anything to do with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is just fucking awesome. Anyways, and of course we've got the arcade game here as well. And you know, what a beautiful translation from the actual arcade version, where they added 2 stages, and they, you know, they made the stages a little bit longer, so that, you know, it's not like you can go through this game in 20 minutes. It takes a good 30 or 40 minutes, and you know, if you're good enough to not use any codes or continues, then I salute you. So, but Turtles 3 has got to be one of the most impressive games for this system. I mean, just looking at the cutscenes and seeing how they've animated all of the, maybe not so much in the first stage, but in the second stage, where they've got the water and stuff, and they've got the foot soldiers doing all this acrobatic stuff, and it's just, this game is fucking wicked. And it's too bad there isn't, you know, it's so highly produced. The soundtrack is amazing for this game, and you know, just, you know, my one complaint is that they could have reprogrammed the palette down here so they could actually give the turtles, you know, the right colors. But yeah, the use of the sprites in this game is just wow. I didn't even know they could do that with the NES, but even though there is a lot of flicker, but who cares? People don't play NES games because they want clean graphics. They want that kind of experience. You annoyed. I used to play this game a lot, but it's not. It hasn't aged well, mainly because it's, you know, one of those games where it's, you get hit once and you get sent back to the beginning of the level. But there are some fun things like the special powers, and they've got the there are some warp zones and things like that, hidden items, and yeah, you know, we could do Zelda, and like I said, there's no save state handling, so pretty much it's no point playing the game right now because won't be able to save any progress. And another thing that I've noticed is that some of these older ROMs don't have 2 to the N header, or the files themselves don't have 2 to the N ROMs in them. They've managed to reduce the, yeah, I guess there were zeros at the end of the ROMs, and somebody decided, oh well, let's, you know, compress the image, which is totally unnecessary nowadays. But I'll just give you an example of what the here's the source code. So basically how this works is pretty much doing a lot of testing on the on the NES header. So for example, make sure the NES header, the actual NES letters are in there. This just makes sure that your program banks and character banks are all 2 to the N numbers, and they should be, but sometimes they're not, and maybe we should have some special handling for that. But as far as I'm concerned, there's no reason why a legitimate NES or .NES game shouldn't have a 2 to the N ROM counts. Unless it's some kind of a pirate multicart. And you know, we set up some of the mirroring here, because there is 4-screen mirroring support on the board. That's how Rad Racer 2 works, although there's some graphical issues with that at the moment. And here we actually test for the mapper numbers. So there's, you know, according to NES 2.0, there's more than 256 mapper types defined at this point in time, but really this thing only supports, you know, a very small amount. So 0, 11, 34, 1, 2, 3, 66, 4, 1, 19, 7, 1, 18, 2, 6, and basically all I'm really doing is configuring the mode register on this guy. Anyways, this video is getting a little long, and other than me basically picking apart the NES header and configuring the registers, and I can even show you what's actually going on. So these are actually the configuration registers. This is the 4-screen mirroring setup, the character mask register, and the program mask register. And as a mask should be, basically it's sort of like you know, it's similar to how a subnet mask works on TCP/IP subnet mask. You know, it's always contiguous ones or zeros. There's a rare occasion where, anyways, you can see the program mask, and these masks have to be set up according to the size of the ROMs on the game. That's why it's important for them to be 2 to the N. But like I said, that can be worked around. It's just, you know, it's just more work. And this is the mode register, so the values here correspond to here. So, you know, there's quite a bit of different configurations we can set up. Like the map select, there's 3 settings for HC161, MMC1 or MMC3. In HC161, there's 4 submodes. This bit is a program write enable. This gets set while we're loading the ROMs. 4-screen enable, so this bypasses all the memory mapping mirroring. And then the mirror mode, there's 2 options for every mapper that we select, and that's more or less for in the HC161 these are sub modes. So generally speaking, the mirroring bit is taken off of here, but in the unROM mode, we wouldn't use that. We would basically select the 4-screen mirroring mode, and then just program just basically set the banks 0, 1, 0, 1, or if it was horizontal mirror, it would be 1, 1, 0, 0. Anyway, that's enough for this video, so thanks for watching.